Hey guys, welcome to lesson 2 where we're going to be talking about standard form of graphing. So yesterday we talked about vertex form of graphing, and today it's going to be standard form. So this is the standard form of graphing, what it looks like. And if this guy is positive, the graph is going to open up. And if that A is negative, the graph is going to open down. So it would look like this. And we talked about this. This would have a maximum. And then if it opens up, it would look like this, and it would have a minimum. Also, something that's nice about it's not as easy as vertex form. Vertex form, you could just like look at the vertex. We're going to have to work for the vertex today. But what is nice is C will tell you the y-intercept. So whatever C is, so like 0C, that is going to be our y-intercept that we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to, I'm going to kind of walk you through. These are the steps to graph, but I always like to use an example. So we're going to start here. And it says, find the axis of symmetry. This is going to be probably the most difficult part of this. So what we're going to do is think about this is, so A is 1, B is 4, and C is -5. So get really good at seeing that. So that's A, B, and C. Notice the negative goes with the 5. So whatever the sign is in front of it, it goes with that. So the formula is we're going to take -b over 2a. So -4 over 2 times 1. Let's see, -4 over 2, that's going to be a -2. So this is where we always have to start. We don't know what the vertex is. So we always have to start here. But what we do know is that, remember, yesterday we talked about our axis of symmetry and the x value of our vertex is the same. So today we're going to kind of work backwards. So if we know the axis of symmetry, we know our vertex is going to be -2 something. So when I make, and this is kind of talks about what we did yesterday. So when I make my chart, I'm going to put that -2 in the middle. And I can pretty easily figure out my y value. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug in -2 wherever I see an x and solve for it. So it's going to look like that. So let's see, I have 4 minus 8 minus 5. So 4 minus 8 is -4 minus 5. That's going to give me a -9. So that's going to go in the middle. So I'm kind of back where I began. So now we're in familiar territory, and I'm just going to work around like we did last time. So let's see, I'm going to make a little number line. So that'd be -3, -4, -1, and 0. And don't forget, same rules apply. So these are going to be the same, and these are going to be the same. So I'm going to plug in like, you can plug in 0 next. So if I plug in 0 here, that becomes a 0. If I plug in 0 here, that becomes a 0. And that gives me a -5. So I'm going to go back up to what I said. Right here, I didn't have to do all that. I just knew already that my y-intercept is going to be -5 because that is -5. So kind of keep that in mind. That's a nice little trick to know. And also those pair with each other. So -4, -5 is also a point. Okay, and then we're going to do one more. If I plug in -1, I'm going to get a -8. So if -1 is -8, then -3 is -8. We're going to go ahead and graph those. Okay, so it should look something like that. So we've done all of these here. We have the y-intercept and we have the graph. So don't forget also the domain from yesterday we learned is a set of all reals. And our range, since it's going up, it's going to be y is greater than or equal to, and then just like yesterday, we're going to find that lowest point, and that's the y value of our vertex, and it's going to be y is greater than or equal to -9. Okay, let's go ahead and do these again. So we are going to start with the axis of symmetry. So whenever you have these problems in standard form, we're always going to start with the axis symmetry. So this is our A, this is our B, and this is our C. So I'm going to say negative B over 2A, and you will need to know that for the test. So negative 12 over 2 times negative 2. This is negative 4. So negative 12 divided by negative 4 is 3. So our axis of symmetry is 3, and that's where I'm going to start. So right there. Sorry, that looks bad. I also know that our vertex is on 3 something, so that's going to go in the middle, right there. So my next step is to plug 3 in anywhere I see an X and find not only the Y value of my vertex, but I'm going to fill in the other values just using, like, this is going to be 2, 1, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So see if you can figure out that chart. Okay, so I filled out my chart. I saw that my vertex was going to be at 3, 11. I don't know. Let's see. I haven't done my y-intercept yet, but I remember the trick right here. So it's going to be 0, negative 7. My domain is always a set of all reals, and my range in this case is going to be less than or equal to, and then that 11. And that's it. Go ahead and try number 2. Okay, so I believe I filled out everything. When I did the negative b over 2a, I got negative 2. And so that's going to be cutting my parabola in half. My vertex is negative 2, 4. My y-intercept, we're actually lucky because it showed up right here, but you can also see it right here. My domain is a set of all reals, and my range, since it's going up, is y is greater than or equal to 4. Okay, try to do these two on your own. Okay, so if you'll take a notice, this is my work for questions 3 and 4. Notice every single time you can't get by without doing that to like finish up the problem. I haven't done the domain and range, so again, don't forget the domain is just a set of all reals, and your range, I'm going to put here, your range is going to be y is greater than in both cases because they're going up. Y is greater than or equal to, and then I'm going to use that negative 2 here, and I'm going to use the negative 1 here. Okay, the next part we're going to jump to is really like the 3 forms of quadratics. Okay, so we've talked about these 2 forms. So vertex form is great because you can find the vertex really easily. You can just look at it and say, okay, my vertex is 2, 1, and we can take it from there. Standard form that we talked about today, you can't find the vertex very easily, but we're going to use the negative b over 2a to help us get there. We also know that our y-intercept is there, which is helpful sometimes. The last form is called intercept form. And this happens when you can factor the standard form. So let's pretend that we factored something and we ended up with like x plus 2 and x minus 3. Intercept form actually tells us the solutions, or like where it crosses the x-axis. So if we were to solve for this, this would be x equals negative 2, and this would be x equals 3. And so this is where it crosses the x-axis. You don't need to know that very often, but in Algebra 2, you will need to know it more. But you need to just be able to like process back and forth between the 3 forms. If you are right here, so if we are in intercept form and you're like, gosh, I don't know how to graph that. Standard form is always kind of your go-to. Like if you're stuck, always put in a standard form. So you guys know what to do here. We just haven't talked about it for a while. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply. I mean, technically we're multiplying all of these together, but we're going to start with multiplying these two, and I get 2x plus 4, and then we're going to multiply these two. So if you are a box person, if you just like to distribute, some people call that FOIL, go ahead and do that. but these are going to go like up here. So 2x plus 6 and x minus 4. So I'm left with, let's see, 2x squared plus 6x minus 8x minus 24. So let's see, y is equal to 2x squared minus 2x, I'm combining like terms, minus 24. And this, if I were to graph this on Desmos, these two would give me the same exact parabola. Okay, number 6 is a little bit trickier. Whenever you see this, that's the same thing as x plus 5 times x plus 5. And order of operations says that we have to do that first before we can add that 8. So I'm going to do box or distribute, and so I'm going to get x squared plus 5x plus 5x, so like we're doing these, and then plus 25 right there. And then I'm going to add that plus 8x on, and then just combine like terms. So I have x squared plus 10x plus 33 for my answer. Okay. So we kind of talked about this, but I want to make sure that you know this. Without graphing, I want you to be able to see, like, does it open up? Does it open down? Does it have a maximum? Does it have a minimum? So anytime this is negative, it's going to open down. And anytime it opens down, it's going to have a maximum. Okay, this one, because it's positive, even though it's a different form, that's okay. That first thing that you see is positive. That's going to make your parabola open up, and that's going to give you a minimum. So I don't need to graph it to know it just from that first thing that I see. Okay, let's go down. So let's kind of take this a little bit further. So if it opens up, again, this is a maximum. And if it opens down, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. If it opens up, it's a minimum. And when it opens down, it's a maximum. But what we haven't talked about is the maximum or minimum value. So what this is, it's your y value of your vertex. It's not hard, you just need to know what to look for. So here, our vertex is 1, -4. So we're going to have a minimum at -4. And you guys do this, you'll do this a lot in Algebra 2, find that minimum or maximum and the minimum value or maximum value. So in this case, let's see, our vertex is going to be -3, -1, and so I'm going to have a max at -1, like that. And that is it for lesson 2. Thanks a lot.